Hey everybody, welcome to the studio of Carini Arts. You can check out cariniarts.com for my shop and to find all my other social media platforms. I also do a series of live talks over on Facebook. So I'd love for you to join me on your other favorite platforms. And I would love if you could help me grow here on YouTube because I'm doing my best, but some days I'm riding the struggle bus. And today I feel like in life I am riding the struggle bus, which kind of correlates with the topic of today, which is how baby steps can lead to great big dreams. And a lot of times I'll come up with my topics. Like I have a series of things that I think would be fun to talk about, but a lot of times I'll wait until I'm really feeling it and I'll use that as my gauge for what to dive into for the day. And today I was just kind of feeling overwhelmed. Like life is just kind of overwhelming. And I know a lot of people probably feel the same. Cost of living's going up. And if you're pursuing your dream, it's tough. It's a lot of work. It really is. It is worth it, absolutely. And I would never go another route, but it's tough a lot of days. And so I like to be candid in that and share the struggles and the truth behind it all. And I think that the message of today, which is the baby steps, can be tremendously helpful in navigating that. And it's the thing that has helped me so much on my journey because I think that it's very easy for us to get overwhelmed by life, all the things going on. There's so much that we cannot control. And it forces and pushes a lot of people to shut down. And at the point that people start shutting down as they move forward in life, a lot of times they never get started on things. And then it pushes people into habits and behaviors of things like procrastination, putting things off. And then we start making excuses, all the reasons why we can't do something. And the truth is that the underlying component behind that is that the excuses we make are oftentimes not the real reasons. And you really have to dive into yourself and remember who you are and why you do the things that you do. But one of the ways to kind of navigate this and to make it a little bit more manageable, I think, is to break it down into baby steps. So, what I'm talking about here is my daily life, for example. So I wake up in the morning and I like to break things down into baby steps because if I think of the big picture, it's overwhelming. Like all the possibilities, all the things that can be done, all the things that can go wrong, all the things I can't control. It will immediately spiral and send you into this void of anxiety. So a lot of times what I have to do is I have to put on these horse blinders. And so I'll get up and I will say, okay, well, we're going to break this down into baby steps. And depending on how well I'm doing for the day, sometimes the tasks are a little bit bigger. Sometimes they're really, really tiny stuff that you're like, that's your success for the day. But sometimes it is. But the truth is that if you are able to check those things off, if you're getting something done, you're still making progress. And a lot of times when people put things off, they'll say, well, I need a break. I need a break. And yes, rest is important. And there will be a day that you can rest. But should it really be today? Because one thing that I believe is that you have to earn your rest. You have to put in work to earn your rest. And so a lot of times I will look at what I got going on and I'll say, okay, well, you know what? At least if I get this small thing done, then I can earn my rest. And what happens oftentimes is that in getting the little thing done, I will start to feel a little bit better about myself and I'll start to get a little bit momentum. And I'll say, well, you know what? We could do one more thing. We could do one more thing. So this is actually one of my issues is that I end up like even today, I'll have like my small set of things and I had broken it down to really small things recently because I've been overwhelmed. And today I started to get a lot of those things done, and then I started to kind of push it. And I'm definitely feeling that right now. But I thought that that would be a good time to come on and have this talk because if I'm not really feeling the things that I'm talking about, then are they really real? Are they, I mean, of course they're real, but I think that talking about them in the moment is an important thing and a valuable thing. But little tasks. So what's an example of a little task? So I get up in the morning and maybe one of my tasks is, okay, well, we got to post something on each of these social media platforms. And again, we're each on our own journey. So maybe that is a big step for you. So maybe one thing, maybe one social media platform or something like that. And then after that, maybe my next task will be to, okay, well, today we're going to mask this project that I'm going to do. We're going to mask it off with tape. And then on another day, another step will be, well, today we're going to lay the base coat. And then another day will be, okay, well, now we're going to do the underpainting. And then another day will be, okay, well, now we're going to do the spray painting. And then another day will be the day that we're going to do the fluid techniques. And then another day will be the day that we're going to pull the tape and maybe do the varnish. And then another day will be the day that we're going to sign it and then we're going to photograph it. So when you break it down to those little steps and you can do one or two or three or a couple a day or one, whatever you want to do, it becomes much more manageable. Like the project that I'm working on now, if I had thought about doing all of these things in their totality, based on where my headspace is right now, it would have been pretty overwhelming. But being able to break it down into these littler tasks, yeah, it's taken a little bit of time, but each day I can feel like I'm still accomplishing something. I'm still moving forward. And then in a few days, this project is going to be done. And I'm going to be able to look back and say, you know what? Even though I didn't feel like I was doing much, I got this thing done. And it's because I broke it down into the smaller components and I didn't push it off or avoid doing it because of that sensation of being overwhelmed. So it was a way of compartmentalizing and managing myself and how I look at things. So maybe the blinders and breaking things down into smaller tasks for you can be tremendously helpful because it's been something that I've implemented for years and years, for decades. And it's the reason that I am where I am today. Like I look at my social media and the amount of content that I have out there, and it's a lot. And people say, "Well, oh my God, I don't do any social media." Well, the thing is that didn't happen overnight. It was me doing a little bit each day, but I recognized the importance of doing that little bit each day because I knew that over time it would help build a history and a legacy so that people could look back, say, go back to the beginning of Instagram, 2012, whatever that was, to now. Now I have all of this stuff that people can find. But it's because I didn't put off doing it. I did a little bit and a little bit and a little bit, and I was consistent in doing it. So if you get consistent in doing these little things, that consistency will start to build habits, which will start to build rituals. And you will reset your mind in the way that you do things, and you will start being somebody that is a doer rather than a don'ter. You will start getting projects done. You will start making things happen. So if you have difficulty starting projects and getting them done, maybe this will be the thing that will help you. Maybe it'll help you break it down into smaller tasks, like I talked about. Of one day you're going to do the priming, the next day you're going to do the base coat, the next day you're going to do this or that. And if you're starting too many projects at once, maybe your issue is that because you tend to put things off and not do things, you feel that, oh well, now I have all these things to do, and so you get overwhelmed, and then you don't know where to go with it. So maybe if you can break it down and you can focus on the one project or the baby steps for the collective projects, maybe it will help you in getting those done. So whether you're an artist or not an artist, I think that this is a concept that applies universally. So whether you have the difficulty or not, you can still break things down into smaller components when you start to feel overwhelmed. You can still make steps or take steps towards your dream every single day. And as you start to do that and implement those techniques and you have time pass and you look back, you will realize that you are closer to your dream than when you started. So, just something to think about. I'm curious to know your thoughts. If you want to share those, if you struggle with any of these things, if this is something that you've thought of before, if this is something that you do, maybe some tips, some suggestions that you have, because I don't have all the answers, but I like to share my stories and my experiences. So, I will see you next time. We can resume the conversation. If people want to leave some comments, we could always go back to topics, but people can let me know the other things they want to talk about, and I'll be happy to try to cover those in the future. So check out CariniArts.com, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.